I like Americans. They get a lot of hate, which is a shame to see. Every American I've encountered has always been very polite and treated me well when I was a waiter. They tip big, which always made my day. You deserve to be proud of your country. You went to the moon, for God's sake. Thank you. America is so large it's hard to make an encompassing statement saying I hate all Americans or I love all Americans. Every region is different in its own little way. Popular in the real world, very unpopular on this site. I watched a video about what Germans thought about Americans, and one person summed up America pretty well. Americans have the best and the worst of everything. We have the smartest people, seen by our great universities, and the dumbest people, self-evident. We have the most athletic people, great Olympians, and dominant sports figures, and one of the most obese populations. America is very hard to generalize, but I think it's pretty clear that it is very diverse and you will meet all sorts of different Americans. Most of us are cool, some of us are assholes. We are not our government or what you see on the news/TV. Same here, it's not about nationality, it's about how we all think. Thank you. As an American, I hate seeing so many jokes about all Americans being fat, racist, etc. I would be lying if I said my country didn't have some problems. For example, our healthcare is way too expensive, but thank you for this. Thank you. Yes, you can all thank me for the moon. I was born in the 80s, but you're welcome. But seriously, thank you. Aw shucks. Thank you. Yeah, unfortunately some of us have huge egos. I think it's because the majority of Americans don't travel outside of the country, let alone even have a passport. Once you go someplace else, your perspective changes. The world does not revolve around us, even if the United States plays a big part. I couldn't eat a whole one. I'm gonna add another comment, just to point out one other thing. Every European I've met that has been to America says that their stay was very pleasant, and the people were nice. I honestly want to visit Europe sometime in the future, and get to know the different people from the different European nations. We may be assholes, but we will give you all the tips, that is true. America is awesome. My favorites are when people who live here talk about how awful it is but won't leave, and also when other countries talk shit and then ask for money. That's nice to hear. I generally think people have a problem separating the people from its government. And while our government might be controlled by crazies from time to time, the American people donate the most money worldwide charities/disasters. I believe, but not 100% sure, we also take in the most children for adoption. Please stay safe out there. Yeah, as a European I have to agree. Up until now I have never met an unkind American person while on holidays. But then again, people are less stressed when they're on holidays. So far, so good. I think you are in Europe. The ones you'd hate are the ones that don't travel much. Reddit is only anti-Americans because it's a radical leftist hellhole. Most here are probably nobodies IRL, remember that. Thank you. We like you too. Why are we judging people based on the piece of land they were born on or legally attributed to in the first place? Depending on where you live, the people are usually all right. The government, however, is not what most would call good. I always get sad when my fellow Americans are like, LOL, America sucks. I wish I could live literally anywhere else. You could literally be living in Somalia or NK, and you still hate the fact that you live in a first world nation. Spoiled as shit. As a German I have to agree. Americans are awesome. I love Americans. Here in Canada it's cool to be anti-American every time a Republican is in office, though not entirely underserved of course. Good and bad people from everywhere. I love how people from other countries, especially Europeans, say Americans are racist, when they have a 90+% homogeneous nation. This is only an unpopular opinion among leftists. I know whenever I travel outside the US I go out of my way to be as polite and charming as I can. Mainly because I'd hate to add to our bad reputation abroad. Easy karma. and it has been a slippery slope ever since we got back from the moon. I like Americans too, some of them are cool. The hate Americans get seem wildly blown out proportion. I've rarely seen anything truly dislike Americans. Get your commie ass out of here. I've said it before, America eventually gets it right, even if it means stumbling in drunk with a gun in our hand. Thanks, I'm a bartender here in Las Vegas, so I've met many people from around the world. The one thing that's always gets me is how shocked people are by Americans' friendliness. I've had people totally taken back by the fact that I'm just willing to have a friendly conversation with them or smile at them when I see them walking around the hotel. Simple things that are just plain common to me. I always defended Americans to some of my less enthusiastic, Canadian, friends. Not sure how you can make a blanket statement that they're all like this or that. It's so petty, lol. American accents are adorable. It's mostly Canadians and Americans that shit on Americans. Well, that and countries who hate democracy like China and North Korea and shit like that. But point is, the most hate is coming from people who live here and don't understand how good they actually got it. The whole world does, whether they know it or not. America is undoubtedly the leader of pop culture around the world. The hatred others have is clearly an inferiority complex. Damn. As an American, I'm extremely surprised by this. Can I meet those Americans? Upvote for truly unpopular. Thank you. I'm American and find most people here aren't that great, but there are those people who are actually decent. It's pretty sad that this has to be considered an unpopular opinion. There are a lot of great people in my country, but holy shit, we can suck sometimes. Thank you. I like you, random stranger. Thank you, kind stranger of unknown nationality. Never met one, but I'm sure they are not all bad. We love you too. I'm honored to hear this and will do my personal best to uphold this perception. We all would be served by doing so.